Hello, everybody. I've just jumped on here today because I want to tell you a story about two women. One is now a client who's working with me, and she just told me something that was really interesting that I wasn't aware of. And she said, I almost hung up on you. Thank God I didn't hang up on you. And what she was referring to was the first time we actually spoke on what was one of my free breakthrough calls. And the purpose of those breakthrough calls is for me to really get to the heart of what you are struggling most with, but really get to the heart of what your problem is. And sometimes you might not even be aware of the depth or what your problem is. You might think, oh, my problem's here, but I can see it's not. It's actually over there. And so we really get to the heart of that pain point and what you are struggling most with right now. And also see what the gap is between that and the life that you really dream and hope you could be living instead, and how you wish you would feel instead. And if by the end of the call, I'm absolutely 100% confident, knowing what your problem is, knowing what you're struggling most with right now, that I am 100% confident that I can help you heal, show you how to close that gap and move forward to a much more empowered, confident life, a peaceful future, free from ever repeating that cycle of toxic relationships ever again. And of course, if I'm the right fit for you, and if you're the right fit for me, because it's a two-way partnership, then I will invite you into my transformational program called The Power Within You. Now, I don't invite everyone into this. In fact, the majority of the calls I don't, but because I'm not here to sell programs. I am here to change women's lives so they absolutely can break the cycle of toxic relationships, fall back in love with their lives, and never settle for anything less than they deserve ever again. So they can also build self-worth, strong boundaries, and show their children what self-love and healthy relationships looks like. So that they're not just breaking the pattern for them, but they're not passing it down to their children, because generational trauma does pass down. And those women that I do invite into my program are as serious as I am about this. You know, I'm not here to muck around. I am very serious about changing women's lives and breaking these patterns that pass on to the next generation. So how do I know that they're serious and committed? I know because they are at that point in their lives where to live another day of being in pain, state of shame, guilt, fear, anxiety, self-doubt, not trusting themselves or anyone else again, isolating, living a lie, a secret life where everyone thinks their life is great, but inside they're just falling apart. For them, they're at that point where living one more day like that is just non-negotiable. They're absolutely done with this and ready to move forward so that they're not defined by that past that's been abusive and hurt them. They don't want to be defined by that. They want to move on from that and head instead towards an amazing vision of their future so that their life can be incredible because and despite of the abuse that they've suffered in the past, and make that trauma matter, make the pain matter, so they can go on and fulfill their purpose and even possibly make difference to other people's lives, not just their children. And they know that now is the time to heal. They don't want to waste another year and look back 10 years later with regret that they're still stuck in that place. And the other thing is they're ready to do whatever it takes to heal. And my now client that I was talking about before was absolutely at that ready and at that point. But what's really interesting was another woman who I spoke to on exactly the same day. But both of these calls had very different outcomes. Both women were absolutely at that point where they were done, they'd had enough, and they were sick and tired of being sick and tired. And they were ready to invest time and money into themselves to change their lives and their future, because they knew that living a life where you keep repeating toxic relationships and you keep ending up in pain and shame and guilt and fear is just not living, it's existing. And they knew that if you heal you, it ripples out across your whole life, not just in your relationships with your children, but relationships, new healthy relationships in which they might find a partner who doesn't take everything from them, but might even be independent, earning good money themselves, and become a life partner that supports them as well. Or that they will show up in their careers in a different way and go on to get that promotion that they never went for before because they were too scared. They knew that that investment of time and money into themselves was absolutely priceless and would come back to them tenfold over if they put that work into themselves. But then what happened, and this happens a lot, is that just as they were both ready to go, let's start, let's do this, all the fear comes up. And that's okay. I get it. And I'll explain why in a minute. But all the fear comes up. I've never done anything like this for myself before, one said. And I said, I know. What if it's possible that that's exactly why you need to put yourself first for once? Because you spent a lifetime putting absolutely everybody else first, and you last. The other one said, what if this doesn't work for me and I fail? I get that a lot. And what I say is that if I have said to you, I'm 100% confident that if you put the work in, I can get you to that empowered, confident place of strong boundaries, self-love, joy and freedom, where you get to choose how you respond to the world and life and relationships, then lean into my confidence. Because I wouldn't have invited you in if I wasn't 100% confident. As I said, I don't do that for everybody, only the ones I'm absolutely confident. And I said, just lean into my certainty for you. And then the first one, the one who almost hung up on me, said, it's terrifying. I'm terrified. I'm just terrified. And she said, I've been taken advantage of so many times before. I'm terrified because this happens to me all the time. Promise me you're not scamming me, she said. And I said, I'm not here to do that. I'm here to change your life and get you out of this pain and this life of fear. And what happened was, and before I say what happened, actually, I get it. I actually get it, because I liken it to childbirth. Before I had my first child, I was on the precipice of changing my life. I knew that once that baby was born, my entire life was going to change. And the fear of the unknown was really frightening. And I was terrified of the pain I'd have to go through. I was terrified, what if I fail as a mother? What if I don't know what to do? What if I'm not good enough? All of that came up. And it can overwhelm you, absolutely overwhelm you. But once the baby was born, my beautiful son, all of that went. It just went. It felt so incredible. And I've never known such joy in my life. So I said that it's the same. I said to her, it's the same. It's whenever you're making a decision or doing something that is taking you out of your comfort zone to the precipice of changing your life, all the old fears come up. What if I'm not good enough? What if it fails for me? So, as I said, just lean into my certainty, lean in. And she found the courage to cross that bridge of fear. She took my hand and she joined me and started her journey to heal. And the next day, I didn't know any of this, but the next day when we had our first one-on-one video call, we got to the end and I showed her why it was the best decision she's ever made in her life, because she said to me at the end, "Oh my God, I am so happy and so excited about this." And I said, why? You were so afraid. And she said, because that one session with you one-on-one was better than any of the therapy I've had in my entire life. And she cried as she said that. And then she admitted to me, and I had almost hung up on you because I was so afraid. Thank God I didn't do that. She's now throwing herself into doing what it takes. She's putting in the work. We're speaking all the time. And she said to me a couple of days ago, "I have hope for the first time in my life." And I'm so excited for her because it is like childbirth. I know what's on the other side of that fear. I know the dramatic transformation that she's going to get for putting in that work, and the joy and the hope and the freedom and the peace that she's going to feel, just as the other women who have gone before her. And in fact, what's really beautiful is part of my program is a group component, and all the few beautiful women who are in there right now, they just rallied around her, wrapped her in a safe blanket when she joined, and they just said, "We've got you too, because we were all just as scared as you are right now. But you're in the right place. Look at us and how we're smiling already. Just trust, keep hold of Viv's hand, and you will start to feel like we do already within a few weeks." So that was that. And the other woman, I'm really sad to say, the second woman I spoke to that day, she just couldn't overcome the fears. So I sent her away with all my love, because if she's not ready, I'll leave her in God's hands or the universe's hands. And I'll just focus on the women who are, because I'm not here to convince anyone to get out of suffering. The choice is yours. I'm here to really get to the heart of what you're suffering with, what the heart of your problems are, why you're stuck, why you're still struggling, why you're still, even after a lifetime of hurt and pain, you're still stuck. I can get to the heart of that. I can be 100% confident. I can say to you, if you're all in, I'm all in with you. But I can't make that decision for you. The commitment is yours. And if you're not ready, that's fine too. That's fine. I just let go and leave you, because your journey is your journey, and that choice is down to you. So if you are at that point where it is non-negotiable, even though it's a bit scary, in your heart that you can't live another day terrified that the next relationship is going to be exactly the same as the last and there'll be more pain, or terrified that you're going to end up alone, never knowing what it's like to have that beautiful relationship where you are part of a team as an equal, or if you have that imposter syndrome at work and you're tired of that and you want to lean into that fear, grab my hand, let me guide you through the fear. Because what if it's possible that fear is the only thing stopping you from getting to that place of freedom, confidence, and joy? If that's the only thing stopping you, will you allow me to be strong for you? Lean into me and let me take you through that fear to where that client is right now, already feeling a huge amount of hope. that change is possible. So I'll leave that with you. If you, Tammy, oh, hello, my love. Tammy is in here. She says, that's so true. Tammy is working with me right now. And man, I hope you don't mind, Tammy, if I say to everybody that you were just the same. You were terrified of taking that step. I remember our first call really, really well. And I remember saying to you, Tammy, I've got you. I've got you. All that's stopping you is that fear. But, you know, and the reason I stay strong on the call and keep encouraging women to cross that bridge is because if I can't be strong, you know, I will not enable women to stay stuck in the self-limiting patterns of behavior that got them on the call with me in the first place. You know, that fear of the unknown and fear of the future is exactly why you go back to these toxic relationships, because you're too afraid to leave. It's why you repeat the pattern. It's why you go back to your dysfunctional comfort blanket, because it feels safer there. And oh, Tammy, there you go. Tammy says, I was very terrified, but I'm glad I'm with this program. I'm so happy that you are too, because already I can see the difference. And I remember with saying that to Tammy, you know, this fear and you're going to abandon yourself. You're going to let this fear override that truth that you know deep down inside that I have to do something to change my life for me and my daughter. And if you let that fear sabotage that determination to change your life, then you're allowing the same thing, same pattern of behavior that kept you stuck to keep you there, and you will never heal your life. So I just stayed strong in that call, and Tammy was another one who just went, this is terrifying, but I'm going to grab your hand. And I just said, I've got you, let's go. And we are doing that. So I just wanted to come in there to say that, because I really understand, you know, quite often people get on the call and they've never met me before. And, you know, the thing that I always say as well is that if you stay stuck in that fear, we get to choose or decide. We get to decide that we are going to fight. As terrifying it is, we're going to fight to get towards that dream that there is a better life out there for us. Or we get to choose to stay stuck in the self-limiting beliefs of why we can't. And fear is one of those. I can't because I'm too scared. What will it cost you to stay in that fear? What will it cost you to stay stuck? Another 10 years of pain and hurt and heartache and loneliness. But when you lean into it and take action, action is your way out of fear and overwhelm. And that's why I encourage women to take action on the call and make that decision, because if they don't, they go away and all the old patterns and beliefs just sabotage. And it's fine either way. If women want to get off the call or not, it's fine, because as I said, the choice is theirs. But the reason I stay on that call for a little longer, if I believe that they really want to do this, but the fear is just sabotaging, is because I know what's on the other side. And once you take action and start, I think, Tammy, you'll probably agree, won't you? That once you grabbed my hand, I got you immediately taking steps that got you away from that fear. And you could see that immediately, oh, right, I now know that there is a way out. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. So, you know, I will get you out of that fear really quickly. But if you can't overcome that and you go away, then I know what's going to happen. You'll get sucked back into that vortex of fear, pain, self-doubt. Sylvia B. Hello, Sylvia. I love your videos. Thank you. Well, thank you, Sylvia, for joining me as well. It's really, really nice to see you here. And thank you for everyone who take the time to comment on the videos. I always love engaging with you on here. And it's just so rewarding for me too to have that feedback. Thank you. I think I'm actually up to more than 1 million views on YouTube now. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of you who support what I do as well. I really do. And it's just great to have you here. So I thought I'd just tell you that story about the two women, one who's now working with me and is with Tammy as well, and the other who just, the fears sabotage that choice, and the difference between the two, because I know what the outcome's going to be like for those two women. It breaks my heart that I couldn't help the second one, but it's okay. I can't save everybody, and I leave her to God and send her away with all my love. So lots of love, everybody. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for joining me again, and have a lovely rest of your day. And I'll see you very, very soon in my next video. Bye for now.